Welcome into Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. I'm Meghan Payton. We're filming this video as the Rams and Niners NFC Championship game is on. And if you guys hate the two NFC West rivals that are playing in this game, go to the comments right now and type me. We are talking Seahawks today. We've got our mailbag show coming up. And if you guys are new here to Seahawks Today, this is how our mailbag shows work. We'll ask you guys a couple days in advance, get your questions in. We'll pick the best questions. And if you guys are subscribed to our channel, we'll throw you guys in our show. We are talking off-season news and rumors going around Seattle. And our first question is coming in from Minecraft Soft. Would Mike Zimmer be a good defensive coordinator? Also, what NFC West team is the best? All right, that is definitely not the Rams, definitely not the Niners. We are definitely going Seahawks for that question. Now, the defensive coordinator situation. I've talked about Mike Zimmer. I love Mike Zimmer. I think he absolutely would be a great candidate for defensive coordinator in Seattle. I honestly was a little bit shocked that the Vikings decided to fire him after this season. He hasn't really been involved in many, head coaching interviews. It seems as if he isn't going to land a head coaching job. Therefore, you start to think about, will he go back to being a defensive coordinator? Now, look at what Zimmer did in Minnesota. Now, we're just going to talk points allowed per game, just looking at the defensive side of things. When he got there, 2017, an insane year. They were ranked number 1 in the NFL, 15.8 points per game allowed. So that's really good, clearly. Pretty good in 2018 as well, ranking number 9, ranking number 5 in 2018, they were ranked number 9. Then it went downhill. In 2020, they were ranked 29th in the league, allowing 29.7 points per game. In 2021, not much better, ranked at 24th in the league, allowing 25.1 points per game. Now, clearly this doesn't, paint the picture for how the defense is as a whole. This is just one stat that we look at just to kind of talk about, hey, how many points did they allow each season, each game? Now, I still think Zimmer would be a great candidate for Seattle, but reports are linking him to Cowboys and Saints. Those are the two teams that I keep seeing Mike Zimmer being linked to. Now, he was with the Cowboys back before the Bengals, back before the Vikings. He spent some time in Dallas, and then I know that he's got some connections there in New Orleans, so it might make more of a fit for him to end up at one of these spots. But if Pete Carroll and Mike Zimmer were together, I think this could really help improve their defense. Now, Mike Zimmer would have to kind of take a back seat knowing that this is Pete Carroll's defense. That's hard for a guy that's been, a defensive coordinator in control at times and then getting a head coaching position and being in charge of not only your defense, but essentially the offense as well, to take that big of a back seat and let Pete Carroll run this defense. So I don't know how likely that is to happen, but we're going to talk about a little more, some other defensive coordinator options for Seattle. I'll ask you guys this. Who do you think should be the Seahawks' next defensive coordinator? They're interviewing right now. I think we will find out pretty soon. So this is the pinned comment for our show. Go down to the comments if you get the ad break and let me know who you want running that defense with Pete Carroll. All right, next one coming in from Oakland Gators. Would Pete Carroll let Vic Fangio come into Seattle? So this is another name we've seen thrown around as defensive coordinator options. I think that he would be a very nice fit. I think Fangio is a great defensive coordinator. I know his, little stint in Denver didn't go great as a head coach. He finished with a 19-29 overall record in Denver. He didn't have any postseason appearances in the 3 seasons that he was there, but he also had different quarterbacks each year. He had Joe Flacco, he had Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater. He didn't have the best of luck, we'll call it, when it came to the quarterback position. So I don't know how much we can blame him for the defense. That really, we'll talk about this here in a second, but that wasn't like their main problem. I'd say prior to his head coaching stint, you can look at what he did as a coordinator, and it was very impressive, both at the Niners and at the Bears. I mean, it's why he got a head coaching job, is because he stood out as a coordinator. Now, would him and Pete Carroll mesh well together? That's a different topic. I know, again, we talk about the power dynamic, and it means a lot for these coaches. I don't know if Vic Fangio has taken that step back again and letting Pete Carroll, kind of run that defense. They've both been around in the NFL a long time. I think Vic Fangio's like in his 60s. He's definitely not going to want to take that back seat. I would like to see him as an option, though. But as we get into this offseason, we've got to still rep our Seahawks. So that's why we're telling you guys about some Seahawks jerseys you guys can get. If you think Russell Wilson is going to be in Seattle, go right now. Get yourself a Russell Wilson jersey. I believe he's going to be. You guys have to go to chatsports.com/Seahawks jersey. You can get DK Metcalf, Bobby Wagner, Jamal Adams. There's a ton of different jerseys available. Sizes are still available, but they are running out. So go right now. Get it while you can. That's chatsports.com/Seahawks jersey. You can even get this fan one if you'd like. Customize. They have everything over at Fanatics. That's chatsports.com/Seahawks jersey. I'd say go get a Russ jersey and prove everyone wrong. The guys that think that he's going to get traded, I say go and get your Russ jersey and wear it in 22 when he's back in Seattle next year. All right, let's go back to Vic Fangio, though, because they do have to figure out what's going on with the coordinator position. In 2019, we look again at points allowed per game. He was ranked 10th in the NFL. So that's pretty good. Top 10, you can't get mad at that. 2020 was bad, 27.9, ranking 25th in the league. But 2021, despite their bad season, they were ranked third in points per game allowed, only allowing 18.9. And so that's what I mean when I say the defense wasn't the main problem for Denver. They didn't have a quarterback. They were really struggling on offense. Vic Fangio, again, another guy that I don't know if he should have gotten fired right after this year. It's a harsh business. I do think that he will be a successful coordinator again if he does not get a head coaching job. We'll keep you guys updated, of course, on the coordinator position. But let's get into some trade rumors. Evie says, would we get Kenny Pickett if we trade Russell Wilson? We're not trading Russell Wilson, but if in a crazy world that Russell Wilson leaves, would they go ahead and get Kenny Pickett? I could see Kenny Pickett or Matt Corral. We talk about the top 5 guys that are coming into this class. It's not the strongest quarterback class that we've seen, but my favorite is Matt Corral and Kenny Pickett. Hopefully Corral, comes back just as strong after dealing with his injury. I know that we've heard rumors about Sam Howell. We've even heard stuff about Carson Strong. I do think Kenny Pickett would fit well. Again, though, these guys are young. You don't know what you're going to get out of some of these draft prospects. So I'm hoping that that's not the case. So we don't have to worry about that at all. But we do have to worry about some offseason signings. And KSI's question is, hello, who in the offseason will get a massive extension? I am guessing Wags, meaning Bobby Wagner. Now, Bobby Wagner's amazing. I don't see them extending Wagner. I see him playing next year. He's got 1 year left on his extension. So I do see Bobby Wagner staying 1 more year in Seattle. But as far as a massive extension for Bobby Wagner, I don't think it's super realistic. His age, clearly the main thing, making you wonder, is he going to decline? Will he be able to be in this league for a long time? He's clearly taken up a lot of money for Seattle. So they're probably not going to sign him to a very large extension, in my opinion. But a guy that they do have to worry about is DK Metcalf, who is on his last year, going to be entering on his last year of his rookie deal. He's definitely going to be expecting a big raise. Will they get it done this offseason, though? I think DK's wanting that. Clearly, he's wanting to go into next year with that in the pocket. He did say he wants to remain in Seattle. I don't know if Pete Carroll and the Seahawks will get this done in the offseason, but it's definitely one that they're going to need to figure out. This is what DK Metcalf said towards the end of the season about his future in Seattle. He said, I want to help bring a championship to the Seahawks organization. Seattle is an incredible city, and this fan base is unmatched. I'm so grateful to be here and part of such a great culture. I try not to look too far into the future and really try to focus on what's happening in the present. And right now, I'm very happy being in Seattle. Will he be happy, though, if he does not get paid during the off season? I think that the Seahawks are most likely going to figure out a way to keep DK around, whether that's extending him this offseason or not. I'll ask you guys, though, should they extend Metcalf during the offseason? Type Y for yes if you think so, or type N for no if you think they should deal with it later. Of course, guys, we'll keep you updated. These topics, these rumors, these news, this all comes about during the offseason. So now's the time. If you have not, go to youtube.com/Seahawks TV. If you guys are a diehard Seahawks fan, these videos are 100% free. And the more subscribers we get, the more videos we can make for you guys. All right, one of our favorites here, Batman Fan 20 Batman. He always comes in with a good question. He said Seahawks should sign Bradley McDougald, sign Stephon Gilmore, and maybe try to trade for a pass rusher. I do like the idea trying to trade for a pass rusher. We've done a few different trade rumors. We'll link those in our description, but let's stick real quickly on Bradley McDougald. They do not need Bradley McDougald. I think Batman Fan 20 Batman is a big fan of him, but he did have his short time here in Seattle from 2017 to 2019, I believe. But ever since then, it hasn't been super impressive for McDougald. He was traded to the Jets during that Jamal Adams trade, then went to the Titans, then just recently on the practice squad for the Jaguars. I don't really see why he would come back to Seattle. Maybe if they wanted a guy on their practice squad or a far backup, but he's not going to be a dominant safety in the NFL anymore, in my opinion. Now we look at Stephon Gilmore, though, a guy that I definitely think that the Seattle Seahawks should go after. He was traded from the Patriots to the Panthers in 2021. He's now going to be a free agent this offseason. And Gilmore would be a great addition for this defense. I really don't think Seattle's going to need to change a lot on their defense. I know that they struggled, but they really started to improve, I'd say, towards that second half of the season. So you bring in a guy like Gilmore, I think it drastically changes things. In 2021, he had 2 interceptions, 2 pass breakups, allowed 2 touchdowns, 159 yards, and quarterbacks had a 68 completion percentage on him. No, is he at his prime anymore? Probably not, like when he was with the Patriots. He's still someone, though, that is definitely going to improve your roster. So Stephon Gilmore, I'd absolutely go with. Bradley McDougald, I'm good on, and they should trade for a pass rusher. But I'll ask you guys a more general question. Who should the Seahawks go after this offseason? You can give me a trade guy, you can give me a free agent, or you can tell me someone in the draft. But let me know if you had to pick one guy for the Seahawks to go after. Let me know who you want in the comments.